Woe to you, O earth and sea.
It's the Hop Nation
USA Podcast. It's the Hop Nation USA Podcast, episode 205. And boy, oh boy, that background noise could be a real problem for us if you're noticing it. But if you're noticing it, that means we're live on location. And boy, this is an interesting one because it's raining and we're outside.
I love it. I love it. That just means this is just the next stop on the Spicy Boy Summer Revenge Tour 2021.
It really is. We just got so busy inside, we couldn't help it. We had to move out here so that you wouldn't have to deal with all the people talking.
That is absolutely what you call a good problem. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
Yeah, surprisingly, being inside is actually worse somehow.
Yes, it is. Yes,
because there's a big giant fan inside and there's a whole bunch of people. So, somehow that's worse.
So we have retired to the beer garden.
Yes.
And
we're taking our leisure, if you will.
Currently avoiding electrocution, but yes, it is episode 205, and we are live on location, and that location is the 412 Brewery right down on the north side, the nice tap room that they have open. As many will know, they brew in McKee's Rocks, but then ship it on over near the stadiums for all use. But tonight, it's me, it's Steve, my co-host Adam.
Of course, I drove here, so I may as well be on the show.
I hope so.
We're also joined by Sydney, who works the front of house here.
Hello, that's me.
As well as does a lot of other things, and we'll find out what. And we have, hailing from the 412, it's Happy Hour!
Oh, yeah!
God, I love that. That's fantastic.
I am auditioning for a ring announcer job.
You could be an auctioneer, possibly.
I don't speak
feel
that
like
fast.
you have the voice for an auctioneer, though.
I don't speak that fast.
It's the voice that matters.
But you also
honestly.
have the presence as well.
You have to carry yourself.
And just point at a guy and be like, "You're buying this."
Yeah, okay.
I don't care.
That's what you want. We're not auctioning this. You're just buying.
You're just
this
buying it. You're
at
buying
the price
it
I want.
At reserve.
That's just bullying.
I mean, I've seen some of your Twitter campaigns.
Persuasiveness.
That's right.
That's
Here
all
we go.
it
Now
is.
here, this is
Persuasive selling.
here's
There
a little
you
something
go.
in terms of how to promote. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Hop Nation USA proudly brings to you the hero of the barroom, Happy Hour.
Yes.
There it is. There it is.
I love it. I love it.
But yes. Yeah, so we're joined by all these people tonight. And we also have beer by 412 because that's what we do on the show. We review the beers of the breweries that we go into.
Yes, it would actually be very, very rude of us to come to their establishment and say, "We don't want to drink your beer. What else you got?"
We're drinking Kingview mead tonight.
I shouldn't have brought that 4-pack, huh?
We'll keep that on the down low.
Don't tell the audience.
What 4-pack?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Smart.
The 4-pack of Blue Blazer.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
But yes, tonight, what are we drinking? And I'll give it up to Sydney or Adam, whoever wants to introduce the beer tonight.
I will start out. We are drinking our Kangaroo Britches IPA. It's going to be a little bit hazier. It's got a touch of tangerine in it, but it's not going to be overpowering in the beer. Sometimes you have a fruited IPA, and that fruit takes over the IPA. We have this tangerine to lend to that citrus feel. Comes in at a very sessionable 5.5% ABV, and I'm going to drink it right now because I can't stop myself.
We bill it as a gently fruited IPA.
Yes. No, the tangerine really, what we have it in there for is to add a boost to those hops that we have in it, and it's not going to take over it. It's not going to be super tangerine forward, but you will have that lending of the citrus to it. And
So,
that's our point.
I may have missed it earlier, but what hops are you using in this?
Oh, yes. We have Waimea and Citra hops in this.
Okay.
It's a nice hazy 5.5%. It's not going to be too bitey. It's going to be more approaching a New England, but not a true New England where it's soft and pillowy and sweet on the end. You do get a little bit of that citrus tang at the end. So
Okay.
Waimea, and we have
Citra hops, yeah.
Waimea and Citra on
So
there.
basically, Citra hops, most people who are aware of, the most common hop, Citra, named for kind of obvious reasons. You get the citrus notes. Waimea hops, you get sort of like a milder citrus note. So the two of them come together to provide a nice flow in the flavor profile to give you a fuller citrus flow instead of just tasting like straight up juice.
I like what you said there, a fuller citrus flow. It brings more fullness and more body to this beer taste.
So it's not quite a New England. It's not quite a West Coast. It's more of like a somewhere in the middle of Indiana.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, or maybe Ohio, if you will. Maybe
we don't recognize Ohio.
Yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't.
There's only 49 states in the union.
yeah, but it'll definitely. It's almost that halfway point where you're definitely getting, as you can see with this beer, and as I'm sure you guys will post on the podcast photos, you will see that haziness to it, but it is going to have more bite to it that you would not expect from a New England.
I like that. You know what? I kind of like that because it and I'll attest to what Steve likes, which he's a West Coast fan, far and away.
Myself as well, yes.
So what that does is that kind of pulls people away from the soft baby kisses, as Steve likes to say, and kind of pulls them towards the West Coast, where if you're drinking an IPA, that's where you belong. Personal opinion. I don't like any of them, so
fair, that's
but
fair.
That's where it needs to go. So it pulls them in that general direction. I like that.
It's a little harder for someone, and we've noticed from a lot of people coming into the chat room a hankering for a West Coast, but not everyone has drank West Coast, and not everyone is familiar with West Coast, especially people that are new into the craft beer world, and not harping on them at all because I've drank New Englands for a long time, but over the past several weeks, I've been begging. I have looked at Slicker and I'm like, please give me a West Coast IPA. So this was kind of a middle ground going into what we're going to be expecting from us.
I think I'm experiencing a little bit of haze burnout. So what I like about this is it doesn't go full on fanatical haze. It's more kind of like pulls you back a little bit. Like you said earlier, that it's kind of bringing you back away from the fringe and more back toward the belt.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that hop bite. I don't want hop burn. Nobody likes that.
Agreed.
It's painful. But it definitely has that point where it's like, okay, this isn't super soft, pillowy, sweet.
I've been quiet because I've been drinking it, and I'm willing to coin a new term on the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Adam,
ready.
Hop Nation Adam already mentioned soft baby kisses, which is how I usually refer to the hazy IPAs, as they are, incredibly easy to drink, but also generally lacking in flavor. They're low impact. Anybody can get into them. I will call this soft kitty kisses. This is soft kitty kisses because it has just that little bit of sandpapery tongue.
The hook's on
just
the tongue there.
Yeah, just a little bit of bite to it. This is soft kitty kisses.
It's a good term. I'm going to remember that one.
Yeah.
But it does come in, you've already said, the citrus isn't full-blown. It isn't full-blown orange juice. Tangerine is a more mild fruit. Also, the hops in it, are pretty standard as far as Citra, but it also doesn't burn. It doesn't go full out. So, yeah, it is a very drinkable beer, but it does have that little tiny bit of bite.
Yes.
That puts it ahead of, just the kind of standard boring fare that I've grown tired of.
Yes. and the bottom line is this is in the well-crafted category, and that's that's all that's important.
Right. So speaking of that, that'll just lead us more into the segment. If you listen to episode 189, when we did the Pittsburgh Diversity Council, we featured Sydney and Adam Zane, a.k.a. Happy Hour. And we had been talking about how 412 recently changed over ownership as well as brewing staff. And now we have Ryan Slicker, who is a part of Fury, and Malcolm Frazier, who had been doing Hop Farm, but also did stuff with Fatheads for a long time. You have a strong pedigree of brewers at this as new ownership with 412. That means the beer is completely different. You're getting a whole new experience. For anybody who hasn't been to 412 in a long time, especially pre-pandemic, everything pre-pandemic doesn't count anymore. That's out the door.
We've had a lot of comments from people returning that haven't visited us in almost 2 years since opening, and have said it's such a change, so much better. Not to harp on previous ownership or brewership, but the direction we are going, a lot of people appreciate. And that's what we've been moving forward towards. And as you said, with the new brewership, with the new ownership, we're making a lot of changes. We're making a lot of strides in what we do.
Right. So we were saying, I mean, I've said this to my Adam, multiple times, but
Hop Nation Adam.
Hop Nation Adam, as we're coming out of 2020, all businesses, not just breweries, need to have some sort of awareness campaign to A, let people know they survived the pandemic, and B, just let people know about what the changes are. And so that's kind of what we're doing here tonight. We want to get the awareness out that 412 is a brand new brewery, essentially.
Yes.
Except for the name. Name's still the same.
Building's the same too.
Right, but you can't get rid of the name.
Currently,
Right.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can get a scoop on that.
All right.
Who knows?
But got a no on the got a no from the other side of the table. But but it's just good to let people know that this is essentially a brand new brewery. People should get down and try everything that's on the tap list if you haven't done it in a while.
Yes, please.
But also, I wanted to ask you guys: is there any other changes people should know about that we don't know about at the moment?
I don't know about changes that you don't know about them, but you brought up a good point as far as, identifying who the brains behind the brew are with Malcolm Fraser and Ryan Slicker. We're talking a lot of street cred coming in, and I think that's key. And that's one thing that I found as people who have come back for the first time under new management, when they discover some of the people that are involved. I mean, Sydney is well connected in the industry. Ryan Slicker, Malcolm Fraser is like, the king of beer science in the region.
Right.
And, Rocco is well connected socially. And then myself, I mean, especially with several of us coming from Fury, they can actually look at the repertoire of what we did, especially at the tail end of our time there in 2019, the things that we were producing there, the barrel program, the stouts that we were producing, the IPAs, the fruited sours were killing it. So, the Blue Blazer was, similar to a beer that we did at Fury. Not exactly the same, but very similar. And we were going for something slightly different on that end. But other fruited sours that we do will be somewhat reminiscent of what they have experienced previously because we have the brewer that made them.
Yes.
Yeah. And as far as other changes, what I was just referring to earlier was mostly not just what we do on a brewery and taproom level. We want to be involved within our community. We want to be involved in Northside, and that's something that you should look forward to over the coming months, over the coming years. We love the Northside. A couple of our owners are stationed in the Northside. They live here. And we want to bring our recognition to the community and what we do to the community as well. So see that as a change from us and what we want to do on a business level and also just a personal level. I think a lot of brewers and breweries consider the work that they do as a personal, I don't want to say vendetta, that's the incorrect word, but a personal goal is we want this community to accept us. We want to accept this community and be a part of it. So we will be heavily working with the Northside Chamber of Commerce, a couple of other organizations within the Northside as well. So as far as immediate changes, that's going to be another one as well that you should look out for.
Excellent. I will say, in full disclosure, this is the first time I've been here. And your space has a very neighborhood vibe to it.
Yeah.
This is the kind of place where you can rock up, have a beer, and then take your dog for the rest of your walk.
Yeah. We have a lot of our customers and a lot of our people that come into the tap room. I've noticed, at least since I'm here, I feel like I should have a cot in the back, honestly. I've noticed that we have a lot of customers that are locals within Northside itself, and they feel very welcome here. And they feel very happy here. And that's another point of ours as well, is not just within this local community, within every community, we want everyone not only, and this will kind of play into the Diversity Council, not only to feel like they're welcome here, but we want you here. And we want these people coming in, and we want to talk to you. We want to drink beers with you. We want to hang out, and we want you to ask us about our tap room and our brewery and what goes into our beers and all of our staff. So that's another thing as well. We don't just want to bring people in on a community level. We want everyone to come in, but we do want the community to feel welcome and like yeah, please come in. Please
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
to us.
we're not-
Please hang out. Let's talk about Mexican War Streets.
Right.
Let's talk about the Aviary. I'm happy to. It makes me so happy to see people coming in at this point and wanting to discuss this with us and just having that conversation.
Right. I mean, to sum up what Sydney's saying, we want to be more than simply a business on the street. We want to be a part of the community. We want to be
Yes.
a part of things, not just here to, sell beer. We
Right.
want to be more than that.
You're not here just to take their money.
Right. Exactly. We are here to stay and be a part of things.
We're here to build that rapport and to build that relationship with people. And that's something that's important, I think, to all of us, to just get to know you guys and hang out with you and speak to you on a personal level, not only just serve you beer.
Are there any community outreach programs that you guys are doing right now to bring the community at large in to kind of reintroduce yourselves?
Yeah, so we just started the initiative. I just mentioned it 2 minutes ago, the North Side Chamber of Commerce. They are the initial initiative, if you will, to get into this community and to let people know we're here and we want to be a part of this community. So look out for more of that over the coming months. But to start off with, we worked with the North Side Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
We're working with a lot of locals as well.
Excellent.
Great. You mentioned people and getting the people out and coming into the tap room. It seems like after Memorial Day weekend, everybody said, fuck it, Pandy's over. And
Yeah.
every time I've been out, every place I've been has been swamped. Have you guys felt overwhelmed at all? Like you mentioned earlier, like we're here on a Wednesday and you're usually not busy except for right now the tap room is packed, which is why we're outside.
Right.
So
Yeah, typically over the past several weeks, we haven't really had too much of an overwhelming presence as far as people coming in. We've had pretty much a steady flow. But over, as you said, Memorial Day weekend, we noticed a tick up in people coming in the presence. We also noticed, I was here on Saturday, we are in the month of Pride, thankfully, for me personally. We are in the month of Pride, and there's a lot of celebration going on. And to kind of give more of a personal perspective on that, I think we're at the point where we've been cooped up a year and a half almost. We have been looking forward to seeing friends, family, people we haven't been able to just physically see for months. And personally, I'm just flabbergasted and excited to be able to see those people and have them be with me and spend time with them. And especially during Pride weekend, we noticed a huge outpouring of love from people. I can't even tell you how many people. I was here on Saturday, which was the Pride celebration. I had the largest number of people writing appreciative messages on their receipts that I've noticed in all of my time in the industry, which has been very exciting for me personally. And for sure, as you said, Memorial Day weekend was that point where we're having trouble keeping beers on because we are pouring them so quickly. And fortunately, we have that capacity to do that. Unfortunately, we've had to turn people away. Even at our full capacity, we've had to turn people away, which is something that I hate to do. It makes me cringe on the inside because I love having new people in, and I love seeing these faces in, and I love seeing not just these faces, but these diverse faces coming into our tap room and enjoying themselves and spending time and talking to me and talking to our bartenders. It's just a wonderful thing. But yes, we have definitely noticed an uptick in people wanting to come out, wanting to imbibe, wanting to talk to us. And it's nothing that I will ever take as a negative.
your guys' tap room is on the north side, and it's been here for a while, as most people know. There's also a little bit of a developing mini ale trail out this way, because right down the street you have Beers Pub, and not too long ago, Fort Points has opened their second location
Yes.
as well. Have you noticed how people are starting their mini ale trail bar crawl?
Oh, for sure.
Are they starting here, or are they ending here?
Well, it depends. I mean, we've seen a variety of things, especially with those brewery guides.
Yeah, the
They've
passports.
been, those passport books. That's been huge for a lot of people. There are, especially when on some of the pages they have sort of like the logical trails or like, what's in proximity, and people are discovering places that they didn't realize were there in proximity to other places they've either been to or they frequent. So that's been great for everyone as a whole. As far as we're concerned, Western Avenue, between, like you said, 4 Points, Beers, and us, you can either start there, come this way, or start here, go the other way.
It's been a hot point.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really has. And I've noticed, to touch off what Happy Hour Adam just said, we've noticed, actually, personally, I've noticed a good mix, especially on weekends. We have people that started out at Allegheny City and come to us and then go to 4 Points. We've had people start at 4 Points, then come to us. We've had people that start out with us and then go to 4 Points in other places. But yeah, it's been a lot of comments in regards to how the North Side is becoming a hotspot for beer crawls, so to say. And it's been, you asked the question, who starts where, but it's been a really, really solid mix. I can't give you an honest answer on where it starts because I've heard a lot from different people. We had a couple, a few weekends ago, we had a couple that came in from Michigan, bought their, the Brewers Guild passport guides and did 30 breweries in one weekend. And we were one of their first stops. So we noticed that, and it's just, again, it's a hard question to answer because I've noticed a very, very solid mix. And that makes me very happy to see not only us succeeding, but 4 Points succeeding, Beers Pub succeeding, Allegheny City Brewing succeeding. And everyone's just like, yeah, we're gonna hit up 412, we're going to hit up 4 Points, we're going to hit up Beers Pub, and we're going to hit up Allegheny City. So it's been a solid mix of all of that, so to say.
But as far as this block in particular, where you start, literally, when you consider that we're talking a literal 1 block stretch that has all three. So it depends on where you're walking from or where you're parked, where you start.
Right.
So,
of course.
So it's not like
it really depends.
Right. It's not like you're driving between here, Beers Pub, and 4 Points. Or if you are, I don't mean to sound ableist.
Right.
Great. Yeah, that's. I just wondered. I don't know traffic down this way as well. I wonder if anybody identified like a traffic flow yet.
As a token of gratitude to the other breweries that are around here, I think we all have a very, very good diversity in our beers. And I think that's something that's been very appreciated.
And that was before we started the show. We were talking about what beers we're going to have on the show and everything. I don't want to give away what's coming up later in the show, but as it turned out, it boiled down to, well, I got what I want, you can have what you want, and everybody wins.
Of course.
And it was very easy to make a decision of what beers we were going to have on the show.
Yeah.
Basically, it boils down to one for Steve, one for Adam, both for Steve and Adam.
Right, exactly.
And I do think another big signifier for us is we offer some gluten-free options, which a lot of people appreciate. You go to a brewery and you might have someone that has celiacs or has a gluten intolerance, and we are very happy to offer that option of Plowman Cider, which offers that gluten-free cider that's very good. It's not super sweet. It's slightly dry. And not a lot of breweries will be able to offer that, and not saying any negative things towards them, but we've recognized and realized that possibility, and we've tried to accommodate it as well. And we offer pretty good cider. So.
But the one thing you don't offer is food. You are just a tap room, unfortunately. However, you do have a lot of food trucks come through.
Yes,
we do. Yes,
so,
yes.
Just real quick on the spot, what is your favorite food truck in beer pairing?
Okay, so I book most of our food trucks here. Karen, who is the wife of one of the owners here, helps me tremendously on that. But I would say, personally, I fully love the Boone Seek. Joe is an amazing human being to work with. He offers...
For people who don't know, that's the Korean hot dog. It's the corn dog that gets wrapped up.
Corn dog
and it has fries on the outside.
Yeah, it's like a little sugar mix on the outside.
Yeah.
So they do Korean street food. They do corn dogs. They do a full cheese option. They do a meat and cheese option. They do my favorite. I love their corn dogs, but underdog here is the Korean fried chicken. And they also do a veggie sushi roll.
Ooh.
So there's options not only for anyone that just wants something really good that has that corn dog feel to it, but they also offer vegan options. So my favorite pairing with the Boonseek would have to be, personally, if I'm having the Korean fried chicken right now, I would have to say the Mesozoic Mind.
What?
So the Mesozoic Mind is one of our IPAs. It's a New England style. It's going to be a little bit softer, a little bit hazier, but with the Korean fried chicken, it had that chicken has a little bite on the back end there, and I think that Mesozoic Mind pairs perfectly with the Boonseek.
Calms down the spice a little bit.
Yes.
I get you. Happy Hour, what's your pairing?
Oh, well, as far as my pairing, I love a good poke bowl from Just Rolled Up.
Nice.
I love Just Rolled Up. So poke bowl, a good poke bowl is not that easy to find. I can find poke bowls, but a good poke bowl is tough to find. So a nice poke bowl paired with our Kolsch does it for me.
That's fair.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
And actually coming up on Sunday, we have Secretos de Mis Abuelos, which is a Puerto Rican food truck. And I'm probably going to pair that one with our Onza. I've had some of their stuff before outside of our tap room, but I'm very excited to have them here out front and serving food, because not only is it a great choice within community, they just make fantastic food. Felipe is the one that runs it. He's also going for, I think, his PhD right now. So he is running a food truck and going after his PhD at the same time. And he is killing it. And I think when he's here on Sunday, I will be bartending. I am probably going to go for something from him, maybe the empanadas. And I'm going to go for the Onza with it.
Nice.
Just a preemptive pairing there.
So I'll go the other way. Is there a food truck that you guys haven't had here yet that needs to get here?
I actually have two that I have my eye on.
Okay.
My first one would be Blue Sparrow.
Okay,
There
all right.
we go.
Global street food. Any single one of their food items, whether it be the kimchi fried rice or the cubano or their bowls, I think would pair perfectly with anything that we have here. And I just know that they're booked up for the season. So I'm just holding out hope for 2022. I'm like, please come here. Them, I think, would be my first one. And then my second one. What did I say?
Yeah.
My second one would probably be Alberta's.
Yeah.
Alberta's Pizza. Or it's a tie. It's really hard because we have so many great food trucks in Pittsburgh. It would either be Alberta's or it would be Blowfish Barbecue.
Okay.
That's smoked
All right.
mac and cheese.
Oh,
is
yes.
one of my favorite
One
things in
giant
existence.
brick of smoked mac and cheese. It's huge.
Those would be my two.
Oh my gosh.
But Adam,
I've
you
seen
go ahead with
pictures.
yours.
No, but I mean, Blowfish Barbecue. Yeah, it's like
Hootie is just
Hootie's great.
legendary.
But I mean, it's like, the first time I had their food, I was like, yeah, I'll do the mac and cheese. He cuts up this huge brick
Beautiful.
of mac and cheese.
And
I
it's
was like,
smoked mac and cheese too. It's not just mac and cheese. Don't give him a disservice there.
We've definitely seen Yins Love Barbecue share pictures of that on the Instagram. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But their smoked chicken, I mean, it's a great, their price point is actually really good too. So you get great value with great smoked food from Blowfish Barbecue.
For sure,
Awesome.
yeah. Those would be, I would say, for sure, Blue Sparrow, Blowfish, and Alberta's Pizza would be my top three to go for.
All right, Steve, we're starting a Twitter campaign.
All right, let's go. Hashtag bring it to 412.
I like it.
That's not my job. Somebody got to pay me for that.
We've got interns, right?
No, not yet.
Oops.
All right. Well, let's come back to the beer that we were drinking. We did all these nice pairings for people to get prepared for these food trucks coming down to 412. But let's come back to the Kangaroo Britches,
Yes.
the soft kitty kisses.
The soft kitty kisses, the
What did-
sandpaper tongue.
Yeah. What did everybody think of this beer?
So I'll go first on this one. This is definitely the type of beer that you want to bring people in, especially if they're not that in tune with the West Coast side of things. You want to kind of pull them that direction. This is a good beer to get them that going in that direction. It's a well-crafted beer. I like what you guys are doing with it. It needs to stay on tap.
I'll just simply say that it is, it's better than most of the just simply Citra hazy IPAs. This is a good starter. If you come down here, you can start with this one and then move on to some of the other options on the list. But yeah, this is a good starter. It gets you going. It's pretty drinkable, so you could stay with it if you want. And
there's no shame in that.
There's no shame in that.
Those soft kitty kisses.
Yeah. Still doesn't have the blow away, clear mosaic West Coast.
That bitter bite.
Yeah, the bitter bite, the piney Simcoe that I'm looking for, but it's still a pretty good beer. And yeah, I would suggest it to anybody looking for something a little bit extra than a regular hazy IPA.
Yes.
After being burned out on soft baby kisses.
Yes.
Get soft kitty kisses.
Yeah. And not to go too much into self-hype here, but I agree with everything you guys said. It's what I've been slowly moving towards over the past couple weeks. Again, I appreciate that every brewery in Pittsburgh does some really, really nice New England IPAs, but there are times that I'm burnt out on the New Englands and I need something with a little bit more kick to it, a little bit more oomph. And this is the beer that I will drink if I'm moving into that and I'm like, all right, let's get to it. Let's move. This is the one. And coming in at 5.5%, you can have 2 or 3 of them to start off with and then move to something else.
Right.
But that's my thoughts on it personally.
It's like a great way to wean away from the absolute fringes of hazy. It's like adding training wheels to bring yourself back on the spectrum off the hazy cliff.
All right, let's get a little bit bite to it. Let's go for this one.
Ramping it up. All right, well, that's great. Well, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back with segment 2.
First Sip Brew Box is a one-of-a-kind subscription service for craft beer lovers based right here in Pittsburgh. Every month, First Sip will send you a box full of craft beer enthusiast essentials, including t-shirts, glassware, and even food. Right now, our friends at First Sip Brew Box have an offer for you. Just sign up for a 3-month subscription and get your 4th month free. Just enter the code HOPUSA when you sign up at firstsipbrewbox.com. That's HOPUSA at checkout to get your 4th month free at firstsipbrewbox.com.
Your following segment is scheduled for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
3-0, baby.
And is 1 beer to the finish. It's segment 2.
Dos.
We're still down here at 412 Brewery, and we are joined by Happy Hour Adam and Sydney. Hello.
Hello, that's me.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm here.
It's episode 205.
And things have simply just gotten worse.
Yes.
Things have gotten worse. There are more people here. There are now dogs here. There's people here with cameras.
We're devolving slowly.
It's going into anarchy, and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Maybe raining cats and dogs, as it was earlier. Oh.
No,
The
don't.
dad jokes. I'm sorry.
No, don't bring the rain back. It just went away.
Oh, knock on wood. Knock on wood.
So we're definitely going to have 45 seconds of just a nice rainfall to calm everybody
Oh,
down.
yeah, sure. That's the end of the episode. Just, yeah.
Bring everybody back down.
Gotta do a little relaxation.
Yeah,
That's
just-
how I fall asleep at night, is rainfall and thunder.
We can just exhale
Meditation
slowly.
Yes.
Ambient rain, sounds of the North Side.
Yes, there it is.
Stop trying to ASMR our listeners. We're trying to do something else. But yeah, we're at 412, and that means we're drinking 412 beer. So, Sydney, what's the second beer of the evening?
Oh, our second beer tonight is our Blue Blazer. It is a blueberry tea sour. It's actually very nice to me because it doesn't have lactose in it. That's just a personal preference. I like a sour, actually one of my favorite styles of beer continually throughout my life has been sours, farmhouses, a goose, something like that. And this blueberry blazer, hold on, let me take a little sip here. Very nice. You get a bit of tart on the nose. You get it on that first sip. You definitely have that blueberry to it, but it has that bite on the end, and it finishes out at the very, very end of the beer, dry and very effervescent and crisp. So this is something that I like to introduce to a lot of people that start out drinking ciders, that are a little bit intimidated by the beer world because there are a lot of heavy flavors. Nothing wrong with that. I fully understand it. But it's one of those beers that is going to be little tart, little dry, little Sour Patch Kids, but at the very end, it finishes crisps. And the way I like to describe it, I am a very avid bike rider. So after I'm finished like a 5 or 6 mile bike ride, if I have the opportunity, this is the beer I am going to grab out of my beer fridge. It's going to be very refreshing. It's going to be very like, oh, I get those electrolytes. And it's going to be something that's not going to give you heartburn at the same time. And that's what I appreciate about this beer.
Right on.
That's what I appreciate about you.
So I will add rest in peace, Owen Hart. Because of Blue Blazer. The anniversary is coming up like next month. For the Fully Loaded incident. But in any case, Sydney covered it well in terms of what we're going for with the beer. And I think a key point was brought up. Yeah, I'm a little done with lactose. So, lactose is definitely not my thing personally.
But that's fair. Some people like it, and I'm not trying to harp on people that like lactose in their sours.
Oh, no, not at all. But then again, also consider I'm old, so I think I've used up all my lactose points.
At the same time, it makes it very smoothie-like, to say.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
is there a bit of a background with the beer or the name itself, Blue Blazer? Is there any sort of story that goes along with it?
So actually, it's not a huge story, but basically the can art or the can label shows a picture of a blazer, an actual blue-colored blazer.
Oh,
so
okay.
That was the corresponding element there for the beer. So,
Puns in the beer world?
Go figure.
Surely you jest.
Oh, no.
But it was a very simple approach to naming. We weren't trying to go for anything too deep or, 3 layers of subliminal messaging here. It's simply, we thought it was cool that there is a blue blazer, a literal jacket, and we have a blueberry tea sour.
Yeah, and then this is something similar to what Slicker has brewed before.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more tuned in. It's a little bit more, not to say that it's more well done, but it's more tuned. Like I said, it's more tuned in, and it's more appropriated to what it needs to be compared to what it was before. And I think it's a very drinkable beer. We've had a lot of people coming in on a hot summer day, now that we are in summer, thank God. We've had a lot of people come in and they've been sweating. To mention Pride again, we had a lot of people coming in from Pride and drinking this beer. It's just very, very refreshing and very, very dialed in as far as the sour goes, in my opinion. It's a sour that I can have 4 or 5 of, rather other sours where I can only have 1 or 2 of because they just hurt at a certain point.
Right.
No hate to sours, but it's definitely one of those beers that I'm like, okay, I can have 4 or 5 of these rather than only having 1 or 2 pours of this because it doesn't kill me.
Yeah. So can you speak to the tea element in the beer? I'm not a tea. I would never call myself a tea connoisseur, but I do have a big cupboard full of teas of various.
See, I knew you were going to key in on that.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So you're mentioning how it has a dry finish, and I'm not thinking it's like matcha, but is it like a white tea?
So a lot of people do come in assuming it's going to be a white tea or a very subtle black tea on it. It's actually an herbal blueberry tea sour.
Okay.
So there are no black tea leaves, white tea, green tea. It's a herbal tea, and we got the tea from Blue Monkey Teas. We got it locally here in Pittsburgh. We again, touching back on community and how much we want to work within the community in Pittsburgh. We wanted to work with a local company that did these teas, but it is an herbal tea. So there is no caffeine in it.
Mhm.
It's not a white tea. It's not a black tea. It's not a green tea. It's not a yerba mate or anything like that. It is an herbal tea sour.
Okay, cool.
And that, I think, helps lend a hand to bringing that blueberry note
Yeah.
to the front and making it the star of the show.
Yeah, I would say so. If you're new to the show, I'm not a big fan of sours, as Adam's not a big fan of IPAs.
Right. We certainly flip flop on those
Yeah.
categories.
But
Very fair.
when they're good, we're very adamant at announcing how good they are, and this one is killer.
Yes.
Like-
yes, it is.
It Sydney, you already mentioned how some sours they'll just blast your palate out, and
It just hurts.
it hurts. You get tired of them.
Yeah.
But this one it's no more sour than just like lemonade. So
Yeah, almost
So
like
that's
a
actually a
blueberry
fair-
tea radler in
Yeah.
a sense,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
with more bite to it.
That's
at the
definitely a
end.
fair analogy. Yeah,
Yeah.
very fair analogy.
yeah, it's no more biting than lemonade, and so you get like a lot of that blueberry flavor that comes through, and it's super drinkable. And yeah, I really enjoy this one as someone who doesn't always love sours.
Well, if you like that one, we have a raspberry sour coming out in a couple weeks that
I'd
you
be
should
into
look
that too.
forward to.
Yeah.
I'd be into that too.
Will that one be available in cans as well?
Who
Hint, hint.
knows?
So that was one thing I did want to talk about is you do have a limited selection of beers in cans. Was the Blue Blazer the first one that was in cans, or is that the first in a series, or is that just the next one in line?
We've had beers in cans before, but this is the first one that we had like a focused effort towards it. So with our initial library of beers after we had taken over, we had some mix and match, like limited quantities, whereas the Blue Blazer was our first full-on commitment to canning a big quantity of beer.
So-
Yeah, but you should definitely look forward over the next couple months. Some more things in cans,
Okay.
for sure.
So that's the plan, is to kind of expand the can.
Of course,
Absolutely.
yeah. We,
Okay.
we want to, not only do we currently have the Blue Blazer in cans, but most of our beers that we have on draft right now, excepting our Stout, we will offer in crowlers or we will offer to go. That's just the only one currently that we have in cans, but keep an eye out in the next
Okay.
several weeks for some more cans from us. We definitely want to be able to have that more accessible to the public for someone that wants to come in, grab a 4-pack and go.
So that leads me into a very selfish question. Has there been any talks or discussion of getting it onto the distribution side?
So here, I'll speak to that. We've had so much demand here in the tap room that we're not producing enough to keep up with distribution. We've had to keep everything in-house because we've been super busy the last 5-6 weeks in particular. And we just can barely keep up with the demand here in the tap room. So until we have a normal to where, we can have our production meet all demand, we're focused strictly on the tap room for now, but once we're able to expand, coordinate, and make sure that we can have the level of production that can meet demand both in-house and external, then yes, distro will be back.
Yeah,
Excellent.
100%, for
Awesome.
sure. We'll definitely be distributing at some point.
Good. Because
He's being very selfish here. He's
Oh,
like,
100%.
I want cans for myself.
are you kidding me? There's bridges and tunnels involved.
It's tough. I understand. I don't want to go. I used to live in Beachview. I understand that struggle
We're outsiders. We like going to Creekside where they have everything.
for sure. Yeah,
Also,
but,
Creekside, you got to pay me for what I just said.
That's right.
yeah, definitely keep an eye out. We'll be discussing it more in the coming weeks, and we will be bringing it to fruition
Excellent.
for sure.
And that being said, just come down here anyways.
Yeah,
Just come here anyways.
Oh, yeah.
it's a good stop. There's plenty of other breweries to stop at and grab 4-packs, and we're one of them. But
How else are you going to fill up your passport? You got to come here.
Exactly.
Fill up
Oh,
your passport.
valid point.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
get your stamps. We have some of the prizes for the Brewers Guild as well, up until the 30 stamp prize, which at any brewery, if you go to 30 and you get your 30 stamps, you will still have to email the Brewers Guild for that howler.
Mhm.
But otherwise, we have the koozie, we have the glassware, and we're happy to have you here and fulfill that for you.
Yeah, let's see. So for the Passport Run, you have us, you have Allegheny City, you have a Southern Tier, you have Beers, which is War Streets.
Yeah.
And, come on out, hit all of us up, complete your passport books.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, do it all before a Pirates game.
Yeah.
Or just not go to a Pirates game.
And just
come
come
up
here.
and do this
We'll put them on the TV. I don't
Well,
mind.
actually, speaking of the Pirates, so Friday, I was here, had a friend visiting from out of town. We walked to PNC Park from here. So it's about a 20-minute walk from here to PNC. It's not a bad
only
walk.
that, but the Steelers coming back in the late spring and summer, and they'll have their games on, and we'll have the games
and the
on.
casino and the Carnegie
Yeah.
Science Center.
At this point,
It's
it's
all that.
stupid not to come up here.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
all kinds of
Especially
things.
when everything's walking distance, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. So you already mentioned how we can look forward to cans, or at least more cans in the future.
Of course.
Are there any other events that you want people to know about that we can look forward to at 412 as far as, food trucks or just get-togethers, block parties? I don't know. What's going on?
Typically, every weekend we have 2 or 3 food trucks. In fact, this coming weekend we have 3 food trucks coming.
We have Tokayo coming on tomorrow, actually, Thursday. We have La Katrina coming on Friday. Saturday, it will be bring your own food. And to mention that, if we ever do not have a food truck here, you are more than welcome to order from one of our local food vendors, which is going to be Nikki's Thai, Modern Cafe,
Pepe's, Giorgio.
Yeah. Please feel free to, if we are not providing a food truck that night, please feel free to bring your own food. You're never going to stop that. We want people to be able to bring their own food, especially if they're in an environment where they're imbibing.
Yep.
And
We want them to imbibe responsibly,
and
so
on,
yes.
on Sunday, we will be having a new food truck that we haven't had the chance to have yet, which is Secretos de Mis Abuelos.
What's the best thing they make, though?
Empanadas?
Personally, I really enjoy their empanadas, but
Nice.
but if you want to be decadent, go for their
do.
go for the tres leches cake.
Oh,
Absolutely
man.
amazing. It pairs well with probably any of the beers that we have here.
It's got to go well with the stout that we haven't had it yet, but I assume it goes well with the stout.
Mhm.
And I would say it goes well with the sour that we're
Adam,
having now.
you had the stout.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Don't break the fourth
Oh,
wall.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What stout? But not only that, we'll also be working with. I am working with a lot of more like jewelry vendors and vintage clothing vendors, and we'll be hopefully having some pop-ups here in the next couple of months as well
Awesome.
to support
Oh, right on.
to support community salespeople, to support community storefronts and people that are local to Pittsburgh. That is our main goal here.
I really
You
like
know?
that idea of bringing other non-beer based businesses and food based businesses in.
Yeah, of course. I think at this point we all are looking to support each other as small businesses, and especially over the past year and a half, we've really realized that, and we've really understood what those connections mean to us.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, a community is more than just food and bev. I mean, we want to be part of the larger fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of being part of the larger fabric, we've already mentioned it, but Sydney and Happy Hour Adam are both part of the Pittsburgh Diversity Council. And just recently this week, again, on episode 189, we mentioned that there is the She Knows Beer initiative, which is also collaborating and creating beers. So they released the first beer that was a collaboration between Trace and Necromancer. But Sydney and Adam, you guys had your hands in that, in that creation process. But can you speak to the event itself?
Yeah, so I'm going to give a little bit of backstory here for anyone that might not have listened to episode, 189?
189. Yes.
I'm going to give a little bit of a history here for people that didn't get the chance to listen to episode 189. The Pittsburgh Brewery Diversity Council, our main goal, and I'm just going to sum it up in one sentence for brevity here, is we want the community within craft beer to be as diverse as the beers that people are drinking. There's so many styles of beer. There's so much available to people now that people can drink, enjoy, imbibe, have fun with, make friends over. And The She Knows Beer collab, which I am wearing a shirt of now, was originally a collab that was going to be with Necromancer, and at the time they did not have the capability to brew this beer fully. They do now. They're doing very well. I'm very proud of them. And so Necromancer very happily and very fortunately for us was willing to work with Trace on this collab and with us. And we did the She Knows Beer logo with Bailey Allegretti from Grist House. Wonderful human being that was able to make a pivot at the last second for us. And the initial collaboration was a orange puree IPA that Trace and Necromancer did together. Fantastic beer, absolutely incredible. And we want to, as far as the full mission on She Knows Beer, we want to recognize what women or female presenting human beings have gone through in bringing themselves and inducting themselves into the craft beer community. And it really started with an experience that I had in the tap room that I just felt very belittled and very just dismissed in a sense. And we wanted to kind of bring light to that and say, hey, women do actually know what they're talking about, and they do know what they're doing, and they do know craft beer. Because I could tell you that, like, out of half of my peers, and I'm not trying to say this as a one-up, I know a lot more than half of my peers do. And it was just kind of a recognition of that. And the first collab was done with Lauren at Necromancer. She's their head brewer. She was previously at Penn Brewing. Wonderful human being. I absolutely love her, and she knows what she's talking about. She knows beer.
And Sydney, pardon me for interrupting, but for any of you out there who haven't heard episode 189, listen to episode 189 and have Sydney school you on a few things.
Oh, that's right. I actually did go a little bit into some old styles.
Right.
Of beer. That's
there was
correct.
some education going on.
Yeah, I taught you a few things,
Yes.
maybe. But that collaboration, a good percentage of the proceeds will be going to Sisters PGH, which Sisters is a trans-led organization. It's BIPOC, which is Black, Indigenous Persons of Color, and they help provide resources, housing, pretty much anything you could think of for trans and queer youth within Pittsburgh. And that's another thing, kind of just a touching point here. Within the queer community, trans people are the most struck out, so to say. And they're the most looked down on, especially within the person of color community, because there's that expectation of masculinity. So our first collaboration and first donation was focused towards Sisters PGH. And we do ask that every brewery that we work with moving forward, and I can say this now because we've confirmed it, Dancing Gnome will be the next collaboration.
Excellent.
And they've been wonderful to work with, for sure. But it's just been that moving forward, trying to support those type of organizations and trying to move forward and just bolster that community. So just to kind of touch on that, I can't tell you what the beer will be. You're just going to have to keep your eyes out.
Okay.
But it will be coming within the next month or so.
That was going to be my next question was, could you give us a clue as to maybe the timetable?
Yeah, it will be July, August.
Excellent.
Will be the timetable for that collaboration. But definitely keep an eye out on our social media. Keep an eye out on Dancing Gnome. We are very much looking forward to working with them.
Awesome.
Great. And just somewhat not great timing, but happenstance timing. This beer came out, obviously along the same timeline that all the accusations and allegations and stories of sexism hit the Rat Magnet Instagram.
Yes.
So with that, there was an event recently held in Pittsburgh that was called For Us and For Them, which allowed people in the industry to kind of group together within their gender presentation or identification and talk about their stories. Were either you able to participate in those events that were held by East End and Meg and Pink Boots? Sorry.
I actually was not able to go to the For Us and the For Them, but I had a lot of conversations with female representing people within Pittsburgh craft beer. And to touch on myself, I've had some experiences. And it was also just very, I don't want to call it eye-opening, because unfortunately for female representing people within the craft beer industry, it is common. Mm-hmm. It is very, very common. You can probably talk to any woman that you know within craft beer in any city, not trying to pick on Pittsburgh. We've done quite well.
Comparatively, yeah. Some of the
yeah, and I think, your point about it, it's not necessarily eye-opening. This is the first time it's really been formally brought to the forefront.
It's not eye-opening. No.
Right, that's the worst part.
It's something that 4 out of 5 of us are familiar with, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
But to touch back on what your point was, I was not able to attend that event. I had been following every single one of Brienne, Rat Magnet's stories, and I was emotionally exhausted, fully and entirely.
And she actually went through, and I just that first part, I couldn't even complete the first part because, here's the thing, because it's never talked about, the assumption is, oh yeah, it happens, just offhand comment here. No, it's these stories brought to light things of a scale of magnitude that are way above just offhand or off color remarks. Well, it's like impeding the quality of workplace. It's impeding the quality of thriving in a workplace. You're affecting personal careers.
Right.
Yeah. Well, to put more perspective on it, I think it's 3 out of 5 female representing or women in any speak or any industry experience sexual harassment, if not sexual assault. And I think it's 1 in 6 men. So I don't want to at any way or in any facet damper what men have to go through, because they also experience these things. And I think it shouldn't just be the women that talk about this. I think it should be everyone that talks about this. But it's pretty damning.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just within our industry. And I think that's something we also need to face. And this is something that I posted about on my personal Instagram, is it's not just our industry. It's women in STEM. It's women in construction or labor or anything like that. But
bottom line, there are no winners in the oppression Olympics.
What we can work on is our industry. And I think that's the important point. And I do appreciate and respect every woman that was able to be there and talk about their experiences and to further, I like to call it intention versus impact.
Absolutely.
What's your intention and how can you move that to how we impact our industry? I don't know if Adam was able to go.
I was barking. However, from 412, Rocco attended, and Malcolm, I believe, was there as well.
Yes,
so
I know Malcolm. I know Malcolm
Rocco
and Rocco
was there as well. So bottom line is, I think, to Sydney's point, she enumerated how many different industries are affected by this at the same time, both as individuals and as organizations.
What can we focus on now?
What do we have a circle of control or circle of influence? So our tie-in is with the beer industry. That's where we actually have influence. So that's where we can start enacting or planting the seeds for change.
But we've also discussed this within our brewery. I called like an emergency call for all of our staff. We're implementing changes. We are affirming how we support our employees as well. And we made it very, very clear what our line is in the sand. And it's a very short line in the sand. We will not stand for our employees or even our customers facing anything like that. I kicked someone out a couple weeks ago. I kicked him out because he made customers uncomfortable. And I said, I'm not having that here.
Good.
It's not okay.
Can you talk about what changes you were implementing? Are you able to get into any specifics on that?
We've always discussed and we've always supported if any customer makes anyone uncomfortable. I don't care if it's sexualization or if it's anything along those lines. It doesn't matter what it is. If you are uncomfortable in our tap room, we want someone to tell us. We are also implementing bathroom codes.
Okay.
We are implementing more of a strict guideline on where your hard line is. And if there's even an approach to that line, I don't care if it's there yet. If there's even an approach to that line, they call myself, they call Rocco, they call anyone, and we will be there in an instant. And we will always support that. We will never, ever, ever question our employees unless they want to talk about it. We'll never question our customers. And we've also implemented if a customer is not comfortable talking with a certain gender on staff, they can talk to someone else. They can talk to our lawyer. It doesn't matter. We want people to feel, again, touching on not only are you welcome here, we want you here. And that's part of it.
Okay. I like that.
It's good. Good to know. Good to know. It's good to hear, coming out of this, that, some places are taking action.
Yes.
And not just glad handing.
Yeah, I've unfortunately heard a lot of nothing from a lot of Pittsburgh breweries, and that makes me kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel, as a woman presenting person, it makes me feel, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it makes me frustrated.
Right. It's so easy to stand
something
behind
just
other people.
Just do something.
Yes.
Yeah, my only message to everyone is please do better.
Mm-hmm.
That's bottom line. Please do better.
Not do better, but also care and act better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a mission that everybody can get behind. It's a good mission statement. It's just simple.
In the words of Bill and Ted, just be excellent to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Let's kind of change gears, though, and we can lighten the mood for a little bit. Another event that we've mentioned on past episode, and it's definitely come to fruition, and it's definitely in the books, and it's definitely coming to Pittsburgh, is the Brews and Bruises, hosted mostly by Happy Hour Adam Zane. This is your baby. This is your brainchild.
September 18th. Early admission at noon, general admission at 1 p.m. at the Green Tree Sportsplex here in Pittsburgh next to the Doubletree Hotel. So it's an indoor soccer field. The space will have over 19,000 square feet. I'm targeting roughly 22-ish breweries, and admission will be between 400 and 450-ish people. This is deliberate because we're coming out of a pandemic, and I want to get... Technically, if everybody, fest goer or staff, literally everybody wanted to socially distance, it is physically possible to do so the way I have it sorted out and with the capacity that I've limited to, because I figure, this is our first round. Make sure that we have enough time to adapt post-pandemic. And if this event goes well, I hope to do it twice a year in subsequent years. My goal here is to do two things. One, actually, I'd say three things. One, because 2020 effectively wiped out beer festivals and a lot of indie wrestling events, I'm trying to bring both back in this one event. That's one. Two, breweries. I want to give lesser traffic breweries an opportunity to shine. So, by giving them an invite, making them part of it, they get to run with the ball and prove that, hey, you know what? We're here too, so please don't overlook us. So this is their opportunity to shine. And three, the wrestling roster that I've put together between wrestlers and referees, I have a lot of diversity, as in 70% roughly of the roster is either person of color, female, or LGBTQ+. So that was by design, because a lot of indie wrestling, let's be frank, even some of the mainstream is kind of whitewashed. It's either whitewashed, jingoistic, it's repeated storylines from the 80s of, your conventional good guy versus bad guy in a jingoistic sense. And I was just like, no, wrestling should be a little more creative than that. It should feature, why are we talking about how long it took for the first full-on black WWE champion?
Mhm.
That happened in the 21st century. Come on, guys.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. In the 21st
Yeah.
century.
Shit. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, now you do.
Now I do.
So that's why I was just like, you know what? What I want to do is not make it a token thing. I want to put on this show where we are all wrestlers, no matter what our skin color, no matter what demographic, and what we need to do is focus on our talent, not some hokey, recycled 80s storyline of how, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude is the real American versus anyone who's not white is the enemy. Come on. We've got to get over that. And we've got some tremendous athletes, tremendous performers.
You talked about that in the last segment, episode 189, about how you were you weren't trying, somebody was trying to make you out to be the villain just because of who you were.
I will say that I forewent a lot of higher end booking and a lot of money because I refuse to feed the beast. I refuse to play, Middle Eastern terrorist tropes. I refuse to play, basically the new Iron Sheik. So, no, not my thing. I refuse to feed the beast. That cost me a lot of bookings. That cost me a lot of money, and I don't care. I'm more principled than that. I will not, give myself up like that to feed a terrible trope.
Right on. Plus, think about it now. All of us growing up, at least the two Adams and myself growing up in that kind of generation, who would have thought Iron Sheik would have been the good guy?
Right.
And Hulk Hogan is the shitbird that nobody wants to be around.
Exactly. That jabroni.
Fuck him, break his back, make him humble. But so can you tell us a little bit more about the event? I think we asked about it, but something that we love about Pittsburgh events, and it's one of the kind of innovative things. We've had like two of the most innovative new beer fests that we've seen before in Brutal Beer Fest, which was heavy metal and beer. And then we have Barrel and Flow, formerly Fresh Fest, which is like the first black produced and black featuring beer fests in the world, the country, but also the world. As America goes, the world also goes. But so we've had those two innovations, and as far as I know, this is the third innovation in Beer Fest of beer and wrestling. So can you tell us any more of the features? Can we expect collaboration beers?
Yeah, actually, amazingly enough, some of the participating breweries will actually collab with some of the wrestlers.
Yes.
So there will be beers that'll be produced for the festival. Somehow, some way, cross-promoted with the wrestler. And in fact, there will be, I think the referees will actually be sponsored by Burgers Brewing.
Nice.
Yes,
So,
that's awesome.
Yes. In fact, one of our referees is a well-known trans wrestler who actually got injured, so she's been refereeing around the Indies. She's the Princess of Darkness, Casey Dillon, and she's well known in the women's wrestling world on the Indies. I'm looking forward to having her on the show. One of our feature women's talent is international superstar Big Bang Ronnie Nicole. So she's wrestled in Japan, China. She's wrestled in the Super Indies here in the States. So definitely looking forward to having her on the show. Also from Pittsburgh, the American bombshell, Danny Gray. So I've been on several different Super Indie shows with her. She's on Intergender Bonanza, which is Sizzling Stand style show over outside of Philly. And she was also on that same GCW show that I did down in Tampa during WrestleMania weekend. So she was also on that show as well. So yeah, she is definitely quite a notable talent, especially known in the Pittsburgh area.
This is sounding
Awesome.
like it's
Hell
going to be
yeah.
a stacked card.
That's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be it. It's
But
going to be the way to go.
I think, a great collab, Stonewall Cider is going to collab with Brohemoth.
Yes.
Yep.
I love Stonewall cider.
Oh yeah, and Brohemoth weighing in at 20,000 megapixels.
Can they find apples big enough?
Right. Oh yeah, no,
Who knows?
Brohemoth is a cider dude. So I thought that was a fantastic
Oh, yeah.
pairing. Not to mention Brohemoth is effectively Verona's favorite son since he's from Verona.
Me and Brahimi have to have some cides.
So can we just have like a cider episode for that week?
Sure.
Oh yeah,
We'll bring 'em on.
Just talk to Arsenal.
Right.
Awesome.
I'll connect you.
I'll take Brohemoth on in a cider match.
Oh,
Cider on
I
a pole
will.
match.
I will watch it.
yeah. Oh man.
I would pay for
Oh
that.
man, I see a Bowser bomb in your future.
If he can get me up.
Well, Brohemoth weighs in about a solid
He's a big
300.
dude, yeah.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, he
It's a
can.
Brohemoth.
Oh yeah, but he can move too. In fact, my official record against Brohemoth is 1-1. So I actually do have a victory versus Brohemoth.
Nice. Say, Steve, I mean, we're good friends, but you're going to be gassed in the first 45
Yeah.
seconds.
Fuck yeah, I'm terribly out of shape. Are you kidding me? That's why I asked for a cider match. That's the only I can do that sitting down.
Oh man, no, but it's and Sizzling Stan Styles is going to be on the show. I'll also have up and coming deathmatch star Jimmy Chondo Lion. So Chondo's going to be on the show as well, and I may have something in store for full-time boss Christian Ross and Chris Bradley, who
He's calling him out now.
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
actually,
You
I'm
heard it
gonna
here
pull up-
first.
Oh, here we go. You're gonna love this picture. Check that out.
Oh damn, they got him in the Boston Crab, dropping the elbow on him.
And what's in my hand?
He's got a can of beer in his hand. He's ready
Oh,
to go.
he's got beer. He's
Yep.
got beers.
Beer in hand while I'm in a Boston Crab. Full-time boss Christian Ross has me in a Boston Crab, and Chris Bradley's dropping an elbow on me.
That looks like a real pre-Popeye, like right before Popeye. Popeye's always in he's always in a headlock or a leg lock, and then finds the can of spinach. Awesome. Well,
man.
we'll definitely look forward to that event in the future. But for now, let's come back to the Blue Blazer. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. But yeah, what did everybody think about this beer?
I mean, come on. It's good beer.
It's good beer.
Let's be honest with ourselves here. It's a good beer.
It's good beer.
And Cindy said it right with this sour beer is that since it doesn't have that lactose and it's not chock full of sugar, you're going to be able to survive this one.
For multiple rounds.
For multiple rounds. That's right. But no, it's a really well-crafted beer. I like it. And I also like the aspect of using it as sort of in the rattler side of things, coming back from a bike ride or a jog or something like that as the first step in, rehydrating and getting those electrolytes back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to touch on is it's just so refreshing. I rode my bike down here today and I told Kyle, our bartender, I said, Kyle, please pour me a Blue Blazer. That's what I need right now. It's just, to me, it's as someone that loves pretty much all styles of beer.
Mhm.
That's the one, especially as we're going from spring into summer. That's the beer. I'm like, I just finished my bike ride. I'm exhausted. I'm sweating. I need a change of clothes at this point because I am so sweaty. That's the beer I want as soon as I change my clothes.
Yep.
Sit down, have that Blue Blazer, have a glass of water. That's the way I'm going to go.
And I would even go as far as to say that this might be a really good shower beer too.
We have a winner.
You make a good point. I have had that beer in the shower a couple times, just being honest about myself here. That's the one, like, I'm done my bike ride. I get home, especially after a night bartending here.
Mm-hmm.
I get home sometimes at like 11:30 at night riding my bike. And I'm like, oh, I'm hot. I need something refreshing while I take my shower to clean off. And that's the one I bring into the shower with
Game
me.
on.
That's it.
Happy hour?
Yeah, so I mean, it's super refreshing, and I actually drank a pour earlier. That was my first pour when I came into the tap room.
Same
because that heat and humidity, that was exactly what I needed at that moment.
Yep.
Yeah, for myself, I already mentioned I'm not the biggest fan of sours, but this is one of the ones that really excels, and it's so fucking refreshing. I just love it. It's also very flavorful, and it's not overly sour. The one thing that, right before I tasted it, it had that tart funk.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
did.
Oh yeah.
I knew you would be a fan of it, but I was a little bit hesitant. But then after tasting it, it is such a killer beer. And you could put a shitload of these away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just like I'm gonna put away Brohemoth in the cider match.
Hey.
But with that, we're gonna take a break. Come back with segment 3, and we got a little game for everybody.
Are you tired of watching the same old awesome movies? Are B movies more your style? Then the folks over at They Call This a Movie have you covered. Join us every Thursday as we review the worst of the worst in sci-fi, action, comedy, and more. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Podbean at theycalledthisamovie.podbean.com. They Called This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships, one terrible movie at a time.
It's segment 3 of Hop Nation USA, episode 205. And boy, oh boy, did we dink this one up, because we could have done 206, which if you doubled it, it would have made 412.
Oh. Whoa.
God, we're dumb.
Yeah. Swing and a miss.
But yes, we are at 412 Brewery, and tonight with us, we have Sydney,
Hello.
and we have Happy Hour Adam,
Hell yeah.
Me too. I'm here too.
and we have regular Adam.
Oh, just like hiding in the background there.
We've got Adam and Adam Light.
He's right here. He's here.
I prefer Adam Premium.
Adam Luxury.
I'm a bespoke Adam.
You be speaking into the mic.
Oh.
But yes, we are at 412, and of course, we're drinking 412 brews. So, Sydney, take it away. What is the third beer of the evening?
Oh, yes. We have the El Chupanibre. It is a Mexican mole stout with some cinnamon, chocolate, and a nice little bit of pepper bite on the end. But it's not going to be too intimidating. It's not going to burn your throat or anything like that. By the end of it, though, you might have a little bit of heat.
And it rings in at a very sessionable 12.1% ABV.
Oh, yes. I neglected to add that it's very light and easy.
Nice walking around beer.
Yeah, for me and Brohemoth, it is.
Right.
It's totally fine for
He's
us.
not going to let go of that, is he?
No.
Not until he gets his 3 count.
Right.
But yeah, I took a little pull on it already. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I was drinking it before the show started.
Doesn't really drink like a 12.
No, it doesn't.
Goes down pretty easy.
Maybe an 8.5.
An easy 8.5. And I will say that, I saw it on the draft board. I immediately keyed in on it, grabbed the draft, got about halfway through, and then I kept reading the draft board to get to the actual ABV, and that's when things went, hell.
You made a mistake.
Well, it wasn't a mistake because it's still a delicious
Oh yeah,
beer.
still good.
You
beer.
made a realization.
Yes, yes, I had to recalculate my math
Yes,
for later
yes.
on in the evening.
But good beer. Like you said, Sydney, the pepper isn't too. Not that it's not prominent, because it is. You do get a little bit of pepper, but it's not. It doesn't burn your tongue in any way. It's well spiced in that way. So if you're a person who doesn't like hot beers, say comparative to the High Wire 10W40, they have a Mexican hot chocolate stout made with Carolina Reapers. And it's a little spicy.
It is.
It definitely comes on the back end as it's going down your throat.
Perhaps it'll build on me, but I don't know. I like a spice beer, so this is kind of baby games for me, but I like it. I still like it as a nice, deep.
You mean kiddie games?
No. No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But it is, it's very drinkable. That's dangerous. A lot of rich chocolatey notes in it. I like that a lot. And super drinkable and super dangerous for myself. But I don't care. I'm not driving tonight.
That's very fair.
And
Very
I
fair.
would definitely put it in the decadent category.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, great beer. I
Treat
like it.
yourself.
Treat yourself to this beer.
Definitely decadent, but not desserty.
Correct.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not overly sweet. It's not a fat ass pastry thicky. So yeah,
Yeah, it's more like baker's chocolate with some hints of pepper at the
Ooh,
end. Yeah.
very fair, very fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say it's a less dry version of the Stone Zocavesa or Chocavesa, and but it's more full. It's bigger
And available on tap right now.
in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Drink local. But yeah, good beer. So moving on, I have devised a little bit of a game for everybody.
Ooh. We love to play a game.
Yes.
Time to play the game.
Don't make me come after you again.
The game, though, however, is not one that you guys can lose. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be making the picks for this Sunday's NXT in your house pay-per-view. But I've devised a rubric for everybody that you don't have to have wrestling knowledge to make these picks.
Oh, thank God. I have very minimal wrestling knowledge, and all of it comes from Adam. Happy Hour.
And that's why it was devised this way. Adam is going to know probably right off the bat how to make these picks, and he'll make his choices. Pop Nation Adam might be a little confused, and Sydney, you just admitted that.
I'm fully lost here.
But it's for everybody.
That's right. Same team.
That's
Same
how I
team.
built it. So we're going to make these picks, and then everybody can make their bets later on whatever the popular online sports betting app is. I don't know because I don't bet.
And they don't pay us enough money to mention them.
Yeah,
Right.
nobody's paid us. DraftKings, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? I'll sell out.
Yeah. Oh, if they give us money, I'll do games for them.
That's
But,
right. $100,000 each person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
until
sell
then-
out. I don't care.
Yeah, until then, this is for whatever. Find a bookie. I don't care. But I'm going to give you a series of comparisons, and you, as a team, will pick what you want.
All right.
Yes. And your first scenario is, would you prefer to go to Kicks Brewing in Sydney, Australia? Or would you rather go to Fisherman's Landing in Cabo San Lucas?
And we can't say both, can we?
Can't say both. I mean, unless Sydney picks one and Adam picks.
Wait, whose team is who?
No,
whose
you're all on
team?
the same team, so you
Okay.
have to come to a consensus.
Oh.
I would say Kicks simply because my name is Sydney,
And
as
honestly,
in Australia.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Well, I like Cabo, so if I need to get
he's
away,
gonna argue.
right? Exactly. I'm gonna. But yeah, if I need to unwind and just kind of completely let go of my brain and just embrace the vacation, Cabo would be it.
Well, I'm staying with Kicks.
So it
I'm
sounds like we
gonna
need a
stay with-
tiebreaker.
You're
I'm
the
gonna-
tiebreaker.
I'm going to
You
stay
are
with
the
my
tiebreaker.
namesake.
Okay. Well, you know what, Steve? We actually talked about this on the drive down
Yeah,
here.
we were talking about what countries
Oh,
we need to move
that's
to.
an unfair bias.
No,
sir.
we were just talking to what countries we need to move to.
Yeah.
Australia is one of them.
It is because the surfing's way better there.
So you're going to say Kicks, right?
Yes.
All
That,
right.
that is our conclusion. I'm sorry, Adam.
Sorry, Adam. I'm not sorry.
No,
Simply
I don't
because
need an
of
apology.
my
My
name.
pick is my pick for my
Yeah.
reason.
But I'll reveal at the end what all this means.
Okay.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to move on to the next scenario. And this is, would you prefer to have $1 million smile or $1 million backpack?
$1 million backpack.
Oh, I got to go $1 million smile.
Well, if we're talking, from a career standpoint, $1 million smile. Think about all the bookings you'd get with $1 million smile.
That's right.
Teeth model.
Yes,
Gotcha.
absolutely.
$1 million smile it is. Moving on. Would you rather have a six-pack that's made from random beers from Australia and Dayton, Ohio, or a six-pack that's made of random beers from Chicago and Mexico?
Oh,
Ooh,
All
that's
of Mexico?
tough.
Yeah, just all of Mexico and all of
I
Australia.
would say I'd say Mexico.
I'm kind of thinking
And
Chicago.
Chicago,
Mexico
absolutely.
and Chicago.
I mean, when
Yeah.
you think of all the breweries in Chicago,
Yeah.
I mean, heck, if you just give me a Revolution barrel aged beer,
I'm glad
I'm
that we could agree on this
Uh,
one.
We
yeah.
have reached a consensus.
So
Yes.
you guys are shooting for, you want Chicago and Mexico beers.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Banking
fully.
banking on trying to get a pipework stout in there, hopefully.
Please and thank you.
Revolution.
All right.
If you throw Goose Island in there, so help me.
I will fight you. You won't need Behemoth. I will fight you. I am fast and I am small.
It's luck
I
of the
will go
draw.
for it.
I can't prove the six packs. It was just about what towns and countries do you trust more. All right. This one is, would you prefer a 6.4 ABV IPA or an 11.9 stout?
Oh, I'm going stout.
Stout.
Yeah, I agree.
Stouts.
I agree fully.
Stouts.
All weather is stout weather.
Mm-hmm.
As we drink a stout
Right.
from 412.
In
Yes.
mid-June.
All right. Well, all weather is stout weather, but we've come to your final scenario. And
I'm ready.
This one's a little more complicated.
My body's ready.
So, of the list of 5, I want you to tell me what your least favorite place to go beercationing would be.
Out of a list of 5.
Out of a list of 5.
Oh,
All right. Okay. I'm ready.
Salt Lake
I'm
City.
I'm listening.
We
Oh,
have Ohio, Nevada, Florida, Ireland, or British Columbia, Canada.
I'd say Nevada.
Can you give me the list again? I'm sorry.
Ohio, Nevada, Florida, Ireland, British Columbia, Canada.
I'm torn between
Nevada.
Nevada and
Least.
Florida.
No,
Least.
at least,
But
Nevada.
Florida actually, invasive species is one of my favorites.
No, Florida
so-
has a lot of good breweries. Nevada, not so much. In fact, of all the places you mentioned, I think Nevada has the fewest or least amount of great beers available.
I'm gonna
Okay.
have to agree with Adam, Happy Hour here, and say Nevada.
Okay.
And it's a clean sweep with all apologies to Abel Baker in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And Banger, you like
Fair.
them too.
And Banger Brewing?
Yeah, I've
Yes.
been to Banger. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
We're gonna all go
it's
for
a
Nevada.
relative selection.
Fair enough. Yeah.
absolutely.
They are
I mean-
the exceptions to the rule.
Right,
All right.
exactly.
So Nevada, and now I want you to tell me the beer that you want the most. It's a beer name, but we have the air guitar champion, the coup de grace,
Ooh,
the no escape, the Panama City Sunset.
I'm gonna ask for a repeat of all of the names. I
Yes,
apologize.
sure. I can also give you styles.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. And I'll give you ABVs too. Fuck it. I'll give you a whole
A
bunch of ABVs.
generous king we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, I'll give you a whole bunch. Air Guitar Champion, which is a DIPA at 8.2%. The Coup de Grace, which is a Russian Imperial Stout at 14.9%.
Oh.
The No Escape, which is a Stout at 10.2%. And the Panama City Sunset, which is a Berliner Weiss at 4.5%. Ooh.
Well, if you want to see Brohemoth put a Canadian destroyer on Steve,
Dude, I'll be in traction from that.
All right, I'm gonna ask for
Not
the
even
names.
kayfabe. I'm just done. That's too much.
I'm gonna ask for the names one more time.
Air Guitar Champion,
Okay.
Coup de Grace, No Escape, Panama City Sunset.
You know what? I look at it, if Ray, if the Fink was going to be announcing the name,
Yeah.
I got to go with the coup de grace.
Okay.
the coup de grace would be a great finisher.
It would be. I agree. But if he's standing underneath the Titantron
Yep.
and he's yelling that name,
Yeah.
personal opinion, coup de grace.
Okay. So you're locked in on Coup de Grace.
Yes.
Coup de grace. Yep.
Happy Hour, is that yours as well?
Yes.
Okay, so we're at 2, but Sydney, what was going to be your pick?
I'm gonna go for the wild card here and go for the Panama City Sunset.
Okay.
I like a Berliner.
So that would be a good
Weiss.
name for a finisher
I
too.
like a Berliner Weiss. I can't help myself.
Could be a good name for a finisher, Adam. Or at least close. So, what did all this mean? Let's go back and review and head all the way back to the start. In the beginning of the segment, I asked you to choose between Kicks Brewing from Sydney, Australia, and the Fisherman's Landing from Cabo San Lucas. This is representative of the match between Mercedes Martinez and Xia Li. Xia Li is known for her martial arts style and throws a lot of dangerous kicks. Kicks Brewing.
Ah, okay.
And Mercedes Martinez utilizes a lot of fisherman busters and suplexes.
Yep.
A Fisherman's Landing.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, mind you, one of my moves that I drop on occasion is a modified fisherman suplex. So yeah.
That's why he chose that one.
All right,
That makes sense.
It all is coming together.
All
now.
comes together. So in that matchup, you guys picked Kicks Brewing, and so that means Xia Li will be winning that match on Sunday.
Because that's how we book.
It's all betting, so there you go. I then asked you, would you rather have $1 million smile or $1 million backpack? Now, $1 million smile, it is a DIPA from Sugar Creek Brewing in North Carolina.
Mhm.
And $1 million backpack is a DIPA from Monkish out of Torrance in Los Angeles. This matchup is representative of the $1 Million Championship belt ladder match between Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. You guys picked $1 Million Smile, and so that means Cameron Grimes will be walking home with the brand new $1 Million Championship as presented by Ted DiBiase.
In the future, I have a Virgil story.
Everybody has a Virgil story. Most of them are at Olive Garden.
I actually had to drive Virgil home after a show.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Well, that sounds like an off-mic one. We'll hear it, though.
yes.
Your six-pack challenge between Australia and Dayton and Chicago and Mexico. There is a six-pack challenge match between Bronson Reed and MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. And it is a winner-takes-all match. Bronson Reed is the North American champion, and MSK are the tag champions. And Legado del Fantasma is a stable looking to take all of the championships away. You guys picked Chicago and Mexico, the hometowns of Legado del Fantasma.
Excellent.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, Santos Escobar is pretty dope. If anybody watched Lucha Underground,
Oh, yeah.
God, King Cuerno is probably the best on that show outside of, Prince Puma and everything. But yeah. So yeah, you guys choose Legado del Fantasma to win. Moving on to the NXT Women's Championship. I gave you the choice between a 6.4 ABV IPA and an 11.9 Stout. The IPA is the Power Bomb by Yokohama Bay out of Japan, and the Stout is the Eclipse. These are representative of the two women fighting in the match. These are their finishers. Raquel Gonzalez uses the one-arm power bomb, and Ember Moon uses the Eclipse, which is a top rope twisting stunner. It's one of the most impressive things in wrestling, and you guys picked the correct answer, which was the Stout, the Eclipse.
And I am an Ember Moon fan.
Yeah, she's great. So yeah, you guys did it correctly. And finally, that brings us to the NXT Championship match. Now, this one was a little more complicated. I had you pick what your least favorite place to go beercation would be. And of that list, all of those states and countries were representative of where the competitors come from. So you picked Nevada, and the current champion, Karrion Kross, hails from Las Vegas, Nevada.
From Lost Wages, Nevada.
So, as the least favorite, he will be losing this match. And then I asked you to pick what your favorite would be, and you picked the coup de grace in a 2-1 tie. The coup de grace is the finishing move held by Finn Balor. And so he will be stomping out Karrion Kross to regain the NXT Championship.
So will he be Finn or will he be Balor?
Who knows?
Depends on how many of those stouts he drinks.
Right.
Maybe he will be the demon. Who knows?
Right. As long as the makeup artist is ready.
Right. As long as they got the airbrush on standby. Adam, Hop Nation, you had mentioned Panama City Sunset being a nice name for a finisher.
Yes.
Panama City Sunrise is actually the finisher of Adam Cole, who will also be in this match. So good keying in on that one.
Yes, Adam Cole. Good old Adam Cole.
That's a name I have not heard in quite some time.
A few years, yeah, absolutely. I think of, just over the years, the guys who've made it to WWE at any capacity that I've been on shows with, guys like Adam Cole, John Schuyler, or even locally. Do you guys know Mambo Italiano?
I don't, but
he's a
Boca de Pepo?
Actually, he was Antonio DeLuca on NXT.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and as far as several different guys either hitting AEW or NXT, I mean, as far as AEW, on AEW Dark, the main event, Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr., they made their AEW Dark debuts. Mind you, Duke Davis, let me tell you this, Duke Davis and Gannon Jones, they're like 6'5", 6'6", 250-ish, super athletes. And Duke Davis got fed Nick Camaroto. He got
That dude is
squashed.
That dude is awesome. Hop Nation Adam. You got to check this guy out. Nick
All right.
Colorado.
Oh my
He looks exactly like Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is old school as it gets, and he's just this hairy monster. It's
He's huge.
he's hilarious, but it's just
Does he have a one strap? Does he go one
he
strap?
doesn't do one
No,
strap.
no.
He-
Ah,
he-
okay.
that would cover up the chest hair, Adam.
Right.
You can't do that.
No, he's got the total wild man hair and
Oh,
beard
yeah.
and just covered in the dude's a monster, and just funny to look at, but also intimidating at the same time.
Mm.
So yeah,
Got that Captain Caveman vibe going.
absolutely,
Right. Oh,
absolutely,
yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Excellent.
But I mean, it's crazy to think of all the. In fact, I took on Dylan McQueen in Tampa at the Super Indie GCW show Mania weekend, and like within 2 weeks after that, he was on AEW Dark.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, damn! I'm sorry, I didn't know enough about him.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice that like I don't watch as much AEW,
Uh-huh.
but I respect a lot of what they do because they do provide that competition. They do provide another television outlet that like Impact and ROH have not been able to grasp at this point.
Well, the thing is, they offer something a little different. In some areas, they offer something different, which is nice to just see a change of pace. You know, I'll be frank, I haven't watched a lot of WWE in like the last year plus because I'm more into things that either are indie or kind of reflect or have some of that indie flavor going in. And I feel like WWE is just, it just feels so, I don't know, corporate.
Stale?
Yeah, it's
Stale and corporate. Yeah, exactly. Oh, here's me clotheslining Dylan McQueen in Tampa.
Dope. Yeah, I'm with you there on that happy hour in that WWE, especially the main product, is very kind of sterile and corporate, and then losing the crowd made it even worse.
Yes.
But NXT, it still has a lot of flavor to it. There's so many indie names in there, and like Hop Nation Adam and I, back in I think 2011 or so, we went to an ROH show that was at the convention center during a car show as well.
Right.
It was a good ass time.
Yeah, it was a good ass time. But like at that time, there like it was Kevin Steen, I believe,
Yep.
Kyle O'Reilly,
Yep.
and Adam Cole were on that
Yep.
shoand then a couple other guys that didn't quite make it, but some that did. I think we saw Cedric Alexander, ACH, and Caprice Coleman were all there.
Oh, Caprice Coleman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's a
I
name.
remember getting a card for some guy named AJ Styles. Was
AJ Styles was not at that event.
no, but he was doing some independent show in West Virginia like the next week.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's funny. It's just like for the up and comers. So David Lawless, who's local here, he's up and coming. Chris LaRusso's from here. Referee George Ross is from here. And the funny thing about all three of them, they're all lawyers.
Nice.
I mean, like,
Not gimmick. That's their
not
job.
gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other interesting thing is there's so many Pittsburgh players right now on both AEW and WWE. We just saw Britt Baker win the championship.
Hail to Brit.
Yeah. We have Pat McAfee on the commentators table, and he's killing it and he's making it more watchable. But then you also have Elias from Plum.
Right.
So,
In fact, Elias was trained by Shirley Doe, and I've been on a number of shows with Shirley Doe. And let's see, who else? Oh, Corey Graves.
Yeah, Corey
Yeah,
Graves.
Graves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Yeah, I was just like, wait a second, Corey Graves is from here. That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, very. Pittsburgh is a nice scene for wrestling. It always has been. We're Philadelphia obviously a little more hardcore, but we still had the common decency to boo Roman Reigns during the Royal Rumble. So
While not throwing batteries.
yeah,
Yeah.
we knew to boo, but also not take it too far.
Hey, if you dress him up as Santa Claus, it's a whole different story.
Oh, yeah.
But with that, you have your NXT takeover picks. All right, well, that brings us to our favorite part of the episode, and it's called the podium. And that's where we make our guests rank their beers, bronze, silver, gold, against each other. Sydney and Adam, happy hour. You will go after myself in regular happy hour. Or regular Adam.
No, I like it that way better.
Fair enough. Whatever.
Quite fair. Quite fair.
Oh no! Now we have to fight for the Happy Hour Championship.
Shit.
The old Chupanibre got me.
All right, right here and right now. Let's go. We have plenty of space. We're in the back patio.
Over under 5 minutes before the keg buster is hit.
Let's switch gravel out here, guys. Calm down. All right. Adam, do you want to go first or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
But unfortunately, it's tough.
it's quite fair.
It is.
3 very different styles.
It is. And
But you don't like IPAs.
I don't. So that is automatically going into bronze medal position. And that is not due to the craftsmanship of the beer.
It's due to your taste.
It
and
is.
That's okay.
And that's exactly how I'm kind of approaching this, because of the 3 beers that I had, none of them were misses in terms of the craftsmanship and the beer itself. So I kind of have to revert back to my personal tastes, which kind of sucks because it's my taste. It's not everybody's taste.
And that's
Get
fair.
on with it.
Give me your ranking.
Well,
What is
we're
it?
waiting.
Oh.
But yes, I must put the soft kitty kisses
Yes.
in the bronze medal position.
The Kangaroo Britches.
Yes, the Kangaroo
That's
Britches.
fair. That's
yes.
fair.
That is going in the bronze medal position. If you are an IPA fan, I would recommend getting it, but I'm not. So I'm not going to get it again. But in the silver medal position, this is where things get tough. Yes, this is because both of these
When the
beers,
going gets tough.
the tough get going.
Yes.
But these are both really good beers, and I don't know which way I would go.
Well, which one would you want to drink on a day like today?
On a day, well, it depends on what part of the day.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. That would have
87 degrees.
87 degrees. Well, that has to go with the blue blazer. So I guess that's going in the gold medal position. So we're going stout and a silver.
We're going for all rankings. We're going 3 p.m. 87 degrees.
Okay.
Wait, what kind of humidity?
Well, I feel like I've been breathing soup for the past 5 hours, so we're gonna go with that.
Okay.
It's fucking muggy out, so
It
yeah.
is. It is.
Soup breathing.
So at that point, I unfortunately I must put the stout in the silver medal position, and then I got to go with the blue blazer.
All
in the
right, so
gold medal
give me your
position.
1 to 3 here.
So 1 blue blazer, 2 Chupanibre, 3 the Kangaroo Britches,
All right, very fair, very fair.
in that order.
I am going to blow everybody's mind.
Oh, he's gonna say
Uh-oh.
the Kangaroo Britches first.
No. No,
Well, I guess
no.
not.
I'm going to blow everybody's mind by saying
blazer.
that my choices are the same as Adam's.
Okay, so
Nobody is expecting me to put the stout in silver, but I am. And nobody's expecting me putting the sour in gold, but I am. Kangaroo Britches, again, soft kitty kisses. It's fine beer, easily drinkable.
Mhm.
It just doesn't have the same pop and flavor as the other 2 beers.
fair.
It's not as big as I like my IPAs. I like my IPAs West Coast, so this one just, it's fine. It's great. A lot of people are going to love it. Come down and check it out. But not for me completely.
All right, well,
Silver.
that's fair.
Yeah. Silver, El Chupanibre. Really, really good stout. A lot of people are really going to like this one as well. Super dangerous.
It is. It really is.
However, not as picey as I wanted. I want a more pice. More
You
picey
want a
beer.
little oomph,
A little more,
if you will.
A little more kick. A little strength.
Yeah, because 12.1 ain't enough kick.
Well,
It's not.
no, not. It
Not in the
depends on the
spice.
flavor too.
The reason why I'm going to put the blue blazer in gold, though,
Mhm.
Oh
is,
yes.
is because it hits every mark that I like. So, like, a really, really, really good sour, I kind of have to put over, a good stout,
Mhm.
but a really, really, really good sour that takes me out of my game and makes me go, oh, that's fucking
That's
great.
a
Right.
great sour
I'm
It
gonna-
earned it.
Yeah, it earned
compared to what you're used to. Yeah.
it. So it's got to go gold. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start by saying Blue Blazer will always be gold for me.
Yes.
It's just such a great drinking beer. So easy, so perfect for when you're out on our back patio,
Right,
as we have been for several hours now.
right.
So that's gonna be my gold coin there. My silver will be the Kangaroo Britches. I'm sorry, but I have to put Chupanibre in bronze. simply because of the season. I am a huge stout drinker, but when I'm a stout drinker, it's typically in fall, spring, or winter. You know? So, I gotta put Blue Blazer at first, just because of my biking background, which you've all heard
Right.
at least 3 times now, I'm sure.
It has a utility in your life.
It really does, and it's essential. And then I would put Kangaroo Britches in my silver spot, simply because it's almost hitting that sweet spot for me. Blue Blazer really, really just like scratches that itch, and Kangaroo Britches is almost there. Not quite. It's a great beer. I love it 100%. I love all the beers that we presented tonight. To a T. They're fantastic beers in their own right and in their own styles. But simply because we're coming into summer,
All
I
right.
really have to put Chupanibre in third.
Fair enough. And
If it were
maybe October
if it
would
were
have fared,
if
fared
it
better.
were October or November, it would be my first place.
Fair enough, yeah.
For sure.
That makes sense.
So
Or even March, it would have hit my
Okay.
first place.
Yeah, still kind of wet and cold.
But tonight, I can't. I
Yeah.
can't put it
No,
there.
I think there's a fair point there with regards to time and place may influence how we select. But that being said, I had to look back and consider how I approached beer tonight, and actually had to use a precedent. So when I showed up at the tap room, the first beer I drank was Blue Blazer.
Yeah, it
So
was.
that was already on my mind. That has to get gold just because I proved that. And then the second beer I consumed was Kangaroo Britches. Before you guys showed up.
So
Blue
he's
Blazer
just-
and then
he's just
Kangaroo
copying
Britches.
me.
So
No
just
big
by
deal.
default. No, but I mean, I actually have evidence. I've proven out the formula that, okay, believe it or not, the first beer I drank was Blue Blazer. Second one I actually drank was Kangaroo Britches. So by default, that has to be my order because I already...
It has to be what you're going to go with
Right.
when you come in a tap room.
Exactly.
You know, and that's very fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So that's the exact format I followed. So I'm basically replicating the placement based on how I ordered tonight.
No, that's very
Fair enough.
fair. And I definitely agree. I mean, I think they're all fantastic beers in their own right.
Mhm.
But I think the seasonality is an important thing as well. I mean, if we didn't have Blue Blazer, Kangaroo would be my forerunner. And then it would maybe be the Cali Kolsch, which we didn't
We can
even talk about that one.
Right.
That
But-
doesn't mean we can't have it after the show's done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, of course. But I definitely agree. For sure, Chupanibre is a great beer.
Mhm.
And if I were coming here on a night that I weren't working, which is not often,
Or if I had a bowl of vanilla bean ice cream.
or a Greek yogurt with strawberries, that would be the Chupanibre would be a good nightcap for sure. That's the beer I would end the night on, and I don't want to place it third, but that's why it would
It's
be the
relative.
last one
It's all relative.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Sydney and Happy Hour to just kind of plug whatever you want, any events, social media, anything you got. Go ahead.
So Sydney handles actually all our social media. So feel free to plug the social media.
Yeah, it's not only myself. I want to give a little bit of credit to Mikey Oriano. Mikey and myself do our social media for the Pittsburgh Brewery Diversity Council. So if you are looking for that, it should be PGH Brewery and Diversity Council on Instagram. Pretty similar on Facebook. We'll be coming out with our website very, very shortly. We're just doing some finishing touches. So if you want to look to that to find out more information about what we're doing as far as events, vocational programs, donations to programs within Pittsburgh, that would be the social media to really take a look at. That would be the way to keep up with what we're doing as far as our collaborations, as far as our vocational programs, as far as our educational programs and meetings that we are planning to do in the coming months.
Yep. And then as far as 412 Brewing, you can find 412 Brewery on Facebook as well as at 412 Brews on Instagram.
Yep. And I manage that as well. So.
Sydney is the social media queen here.
Yes.
So
yes.
she's got that covered.
If you have questions, thoughts, concerns, please reach out to us on either of those channels, whether it be personally about 412, whether it be about what we're doing as a council and how we move forward. We are always happy to hear opinions and always happy to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, especially if you have ideas. I mean, if you have ideas that we have not already mentioned in terms of some of our efforts, if for potential ideas that help promote diversity in breweries and tap rooms, please feel free to at least share the idea, because you never know. You might have a prize-winning idea that just needs the right ears.
And we'll be coming out with more over the next several weeks, so keep an eye out.
Right on.
Also, September 18th at the Green Tree Sportsplex, we have the Brews and Bruises Festival. So come on out. Actually, right now, tickets are now available on sale. The easy URL would be tinyurl.com/Brews and Bruises, or on Facebook, you can get the link. There's an event set up called Brews and Bruises Festival. So feel free to go there.
And it's spelled exactly how it sounds.
Yep. No funny spellings here. Yeah. So exactly as the English language would permit.
And it will be a very accessible program as well.
That's the idea. But please come check us out. Check out our social media, whether it's about 412 Brewery, about Pittsburgh Brewery Diversity Council, or Brews and Bruises. All of these are channels or ways for us to get information out, whether it's what we're brewing, upcoming projects, things that are related to Sydney and I and our efforts to help the beer community, whether it's through promoting great beers or promoting great causes.
Yeah, and if you're not comfortable reaching out to an entity itself, you can reach out to me. My Instagram handle is Sydney, not Sid. It's spelled just like the city in Australia, so SYDNEY. Sydney, not Sid. If you want to reach out to one more than another, we're not going to take offense to it. We actually would take it as a compliment. I personally would. If you're more comfortable reaching out to me, if you're more comfortable reaching out to Adam. Adam, what is your Instagram handle?
So at Instagram, I'm at Wrestler Happy Hour. So you can find me on Wrestler Happy Hour. Mind you, I'm sorry if there are not enough pictures that are entertaining, because I'm an old guy. So I'm learning some of the social media ropes. But that being said, you can reach me on there. And I will get a notification and I will respond, even though I'm like 847 years old.
Yep.
But,
if you're more comfortable reaching out to someone that's more femme presenting or mask presenting,
right,
perfectly fine with either of us. We will not take offense, and if it's something personal, we're obviously going to handle it that way.
Yep. And when it comes down to it, I'm in beer because I believe beer can bring joy, and I'm all about bringing joy and love to everyone.
Exactly. Good point. Good point.
All right. Well, let's come back to the El Chupanibre. And you know what? I have a question to ask. I forgot to ask at the top of the segment. Is this an MF Doom reference?
It's actually a Futurama reference.
Okay.
Oh.
So the El Chupanibre was a monster in Futurama that
didn't that turn out to be Nibbler?
Yes.
Okay.
Hence Chupanibre.
Yeah. Okay.
He perused the sewers, and it's similar to a reference of El Chupacabra.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Chupanibre was more of something that we were comfortable with referencing, since it was a almost pop culture reference.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's why we went with that.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, there's an MF Doom song that's El Chupanibre as well.
Oh, really?
I actually, when we named that beer, I texted Slicker and Rocco and a couple people. I was like, "We're talking about MF Doom here," because actually, when we released this, it was very close to the time of the passing.
Yeah. That's also why. Yeah. That's also why.
I mean, a couple of us in the ownership group are actually big Futurama fans.
Fair enough. That also makes sense.
So we try to come up with ways to incorporate that, because it's always fun. I mean, we're not trying to do the whole thing of like, oh, we're going to name a beer Bender. No, come on. No.
Let's get some deep cuts in there.
Deep cuts, exactly. Deep cuts, implicit references and things like that. Be creative. Use your creative energy.
Be a little meta. All right.
All right. Well, with that, if you want to find us on social media, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA, and that'll get you Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the Hop Nation USA podcast every Friday, as you should, then search Hop Nation USA on your favorite podcatcher like Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
I was going to say Apple.
Yeah, Player FM. We don't need to advertise Apple as much. Everybody knows that one.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah. I think we're on iHeartRadio. We're not on Pandora, I discovered recently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a sad discovery.
I'll work on fixing that. But if you're on any of those platforms, leave a 5-star review because
We are a 412-star show, but they only let us use 5.
and that's a bigger crime than us not performing in the Tokyo Dome. But with that, we want to thank Adam and Sydney for having us into their space, sharing beers with us, telling us all about everything going on 412, Brews and Bruises, Pittsburgh Diversity Council, everything else you can imagine.
This was
and thank you for being so accommodating and working with the space that we have right now. And fortunately and unfortunately, it was a very busy night, so we had to come out to our back patio.
we got to sit around a table, drink beer with friends.
That's
What's not to love?
That's the
Right.
main point.
What's
all fine.
not to love?
It's all good that way.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll have something new. This time we're actually not sure what we're doing next week. So
Oh,
Just winging
boy.
it.
yeah, we have so much planned in the future, but oops, not next week. So,
Fly by the seat of your pants.
hang on to your seats, and also check out Halloween is Forever.
All right.
We're having a good time over there. So yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye guys.
Cheers.